Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for listening to Operation Agency Freedom, where we are bringing you top secret advice from the world's most badass digital agency owners and influencers. These amazing men and women are sharing their stories of how they built 6, 7, 8-figure digital agencies and how you can too. My name is Chris Martinez, CEO of Dude, where we help digital agencies by giving them the people and the processes so that they can scale profitably. Today, I am joined by the amazing Jason Swenk. What's up, Jason?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on. And I like your elevator pitch. Good job on that.
Oh, thank you very much. I learned that from you. I give you all the credit for that. So, so if you guys have never met or heard of Jason Swenk, he is a podcaster, creator, and advisor. He's been a mentor for me for years now. I actually saw him speak for the first time at a digital marketer event, and I've been following you ever since. And so
you've been chasing me around with your wrestling gear.
Exactly. That doesn't sound weird at all.
that sounds very weird.
Actually, we were just recording in the mask the other day, so I got it literally like right here next to the on our conference room table. So awesome, Jason. You know, as we start every show, we like to kind of talk about current events or something that's unique about you. That's not really related to the agency, but it kind of is. And so I know that you played collegiate tennis. I think, was it Florida State or University?
Yeah, I played at Spring Hill College for 2 years, and then I transferred to Florida State, and then got distracted by all the distractions you have
at Florida
State.
Yeah, party school. I went to UC Santa Barbara, so I know all about that.
Yes.
But I mean, you played at a super high level. And athletics, specifically tennis, obviously. And so I wanted to ask you, like, has that athletic experience played any role in your success as an entrepreneur, or do you think that it has?
Oh, yeah. I think it's everything. I mean, you think about a lot of these professional athletes or people that have grown up at an elite level, you know, they'll translate that to business. And it's all about knowing and being able to I did a video on this. It's about quitting. Right? Sports teach us how to quit. I'm not talking about just quitting the sport, but it's quitting all the distractions around us. And have complete focus and clarity for a goal that we want to achieve. And then trying to figure out a system, or even sometimes going back to the basics. A lot of times if we're going into an issue in the business, I approach it just like in tennis. Like, I was one of the best in tennis. And I remember if I was losing a match, my coach would be like, go back to the basics.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I'm trying to overcomplicate the crap out of it.
Right.
Like, just pick the racket back and swing. Like, stop thinking about, oh, I need to look at, try to read the ball and do the top spin and hit the lines. Just get the ball back.
Right.
Keep it in play and have a chance. Don't beat yourself before you even start the game.
In what ways do you see people doing that in business today, and specifically in the agency world?
Well, they don't have a goal. They don't know what they want to achieve, and they don't believe that they're the best, right? When I would get on the tennis court, I'd be like, I am the best in the world right now. I'm the best on this court, and I'm going to destroy anybody across. I'm going to take them down. And it's the same thing in business. If you don't believe you're the best, do you think anybody else is? Like, do you think Michael Phelps gets into the Olympics and won all those gold medals, the most decorated gold medalist ever, has more gold medals than 66 countries or something like that, right?
Right.
Himself.
Yes.
Combined. Do you think he gets up? Oh, I'm kind of okay. It kind of reminds me of like that commercial. There's a commercial in the States that has this doctor. He runs into the room for his patient. It's like, hey, I just got reinstated. And he goes to the patient. He goes, are you nervous? And the patient's like, no. He's like, I am. I'll see you in there. So you have to, like, if you're going into business, you have to know, if I'm not the best, how do I be the best? What do I need to do?
Right.
How can I communicate that I'm the best? Right. And know who you're the best for. You're not the best for everybody. And so I think, like, I knew I wasn't the best in the world at tennis, and that's why I got out of it. Right. But I knew I could be the best on the court against my opponent, as long as he wasn't Roger Federer, right? But like, I'm getting smoked.
Right. Well, okay. So in our industry, in the creative agency, digital agency world, you do have people who get into this business that aren't as cutthroat, maybe in many ways, or as competitive. and they might not naturally approach a meeting or their business with that, I'm the best in the world. It's very, very foreign and uncomfortable for them. So what advice do you think that they could have? And maybe they didn't have this, sports background like you did, and you and I did. What advice do you typically give for those people who it's just so unnatural for them to have that confidence and kind of like, they go into meetings with that I'm the best, I'm going to kick ass.
Well, it's not just going to, I'm going to kick ass, right?
Yeah.
Like when I go into meetings now, it's not like I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to go like, how can I be the best for you? How can I help you out the most, right? And how can I be the best of myself at that one point with all the knowledge that I know, right? And so it's not search and destroy like on the tennis court, but it's like if you go into a meeting knowing that you're not the best for them, or right, you got to figure out how can I add more value, or who can I actually like, why am I in a meeting with someone that I can't be the best for? Like go find someone else. Like you're in the wrong meetings and you're wasting the wrong time. And you may not have that clarity, right? Or I see a lot of agencies, like almost all agency owners are accidental. We knew how to do something cool. Someone offered us money.
Exactly.
And like, cool, right? Like
stumbled into it.
I stumbled into it. And then we just were reactive. And we never kind of sat back and saying, how can we be the best? And we just hit a certain threshold and we go, well, whatever that threshold is, it could be at 1 million, it could be at 8 figures, whatever it is. You hit this threshold and you're like, why am I here? And the only way to push forward is to be like, what can I be the best in the world at? I was just interviewing someone on the podcast. He came into an agency, used to be like the number 2 for Sony, right? And for some big brands. And these investors brought him in to fix this agency that they gave $8 million and they blew through it.
He came in as the CEO or what role?
He came in as the CEO of this agency. And 15 months later, he turned around and sold the agency for $200 million.
Holy crap.
And I said, well, how the hell how did you do that? Like, that's even better than me. Like, I can't do that, right? Like right now with all the stuff I know. And he goes, look, at the time we had to figure out what could we be the best in the world at? What could we identify where no one else could get close to us? And then when people got close to us, we could just defend them off. And they were able to figure that out. Now it takes some time to figure that stuff out because every agency looks the same. We all look like Me Too agencies. Like, oh yeah, I'm an SEO. Like you describe yourself as an SEO agency or you describe yourself as a Facebook agency. Wrong. Doesn't matter what services you do. It matters. That's why I complimented you on your elevator pitch. It was so good. Like we know exactly, oh, you help agency owners, blah, 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 right? And it's like, I understand what you do. Not many other people do that. Like I don't even do that part, right? So it's great. That's what people need to do. Awesome,
man. Well, this is a perfect segue. So let's get into Jason Swenk, man. So let's hear your story. You had, in my opinion, my humble opinion, you had the dream, agency that everybody is aspiring for, right? Started from basically the kitchen table, grew it, became hugely successful, and then you had that magical exit that many people are looking for. So can you talk a bit about that story really quickly? Or it doesn't have to be quick, but tell us the story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I kind of fell into it by accident. So in 1999, one of my friends looked like Justin Timberlake. So I created a fake band for us, right? If you remember in 1999, NSYNC and Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah. I was a freshman in college at the time. So yes,
yeah,
I absolutely remember the dorm room girls going insane over.
No, Justin, NSYNC, right? Yeah, so I created a website called InShit. And it didn't even have a URL. It was on a GeoCity URL.
Nice.
And it got popular. And then a lot of people started asking me for websites. And so I just started designing $500 websites here and there. And that's kind of how I got my start. And I remember even my first client asking me to send him an invoice. I don't even know what an invoice was. Google wasn't around, in 1999. And so I just had to figure it out. And we just kept growing and growing. And then, over the years, we just started getting bigger and bigger clients. Like we did everything for LegalZoom. We did everything for Lotus Cars in the US. We worked with Hitachi Power Tools and Aflac and, all these amazing brands. And we hired a team and talent, like put the right people in the right seats. Not always, right? It took us a while to figure that part out. And we just got to a point, 12 years later, someone came along and offered us some money. We're like, okay, yeah, like cool. And then, but here's the deal. Everybody goes, that's the dream. And then you can go live on a beach. Well, I was depressed 2 weeks later. I was like, this sucks. Like, what am I going to do? I have to report to the agency that just bought me out.
Right.
Like
Because
it
they
was just,
usually will keep you on as an advisor or something for, a year or something like that.
yeah. And so I had to stay with them for 2 years or the event that we were purchased again. And I was just lucky enough that we were purchased a second time 9 months later. So then my tour of duty was over. But here's the deal. I couldn't start an agency for 2 years.
Oh yeah, because they make you sign a non-compete.
And that's all I ever knew. So what does any agency owner do? Create a stupid product, like an iPhone app.
Yep.
And I hated it. It took pictures of everything you ate and gave you a visualization so you could change your eating habits. But I wasn't that passionate about it. And I didn't like this one-to-many thing. I liked being able to solve these, big issues and be significant. That's what I was missing because we had a big team and we were working with the best in the world. And so I was just struggling for 2 years of like figuring out what to do. Like people are like, oh yeah, you had money, you buy whatever. I'm like, whatever. Like, and I don't tell, like, I always laughed at people of like, what do they buy after they sell? Like I bought a $500 bumper for my Jeep. That's all I bought. All the other money went away to college funds and rainy day and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Right.
It was just like, it wasn't the money thing. Right. And then I was just lucky enough that some of my old competitors a couple of years ago was like, hey, how'd you do X? And I started helping them out for free. And then they just started, well, can I pay you? I'm like, oh, no, don't worry about it. And more people kept doing that. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I guess you can pay me. Like, and let's just create something. And that was kind of the start of what I'm doing now, where, I help agency owners, scale through showing them the right systems and strategies and, just connect them to other amazing people in the community. So
That's awesome. So, it sounds like even the second career you just kind of fell into, but you are, able to get out there and talk to all these agency owners, and the landscape has changed, obviously, like dramatically since you started in 1999, and even when you had the exit in I think it was 2012, you said?
Yeah, 2012. Yeah.
So, for the agencies that are in the thick of it right now, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges as well as some of the biggest opportunities for them?
They're thinking too small.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just meeting with someone right before this, and he's like, yeah, I want to go after the companies that are 2 million to 20 million.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but do you think you could help out the Inc. 500 list? Oh yeah, I could help them out. Go after them. Create an elite group for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all think too small, and we don't know the value that we can actually deliver. Now, I only help people that already know how to do a particular service, right? So
Right.
like they already know how to do a service and they just want to kind of grow and scale a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
And those types of people that were like me, right? Like, and I just try to create a resource like I wish I had for people like me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only relate. Like a lot of times when people get the podcast or watch the videos, they're like, you're in my room. Like you were spying on me. Like this
Mm-hmm.
video, I was like, well, yeah, I guess. It's called Alexa. I need to turn her off real quick because she probably was just about to talk to me. Jeff Bezos and me are friends. He just sends me all your intimate conversations you have whenever it picks up digital agencies. No,
See, I'm friends with Kim Jong-il. So that's my way into your bedroom.
Yeah. But I think it comes down to a couple things. I think it comes down to they don't have clarity and they're not thinking big enough, right? They don't know who they want to go after.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they actually want to be. They just go, I want to be a big agency, but they don't know a definition. Or they say, I don't want a big agency because I have 5-10 people right now and I'm overwhelmed as it is. So if I had 20 people, that means I'm going to add even more. I'm like, no. If you have the right people and the right systems and that, it can actually free you up. And we could talk about kind of the role of a CEO of an agency later on. But you have to have that clarity so you know what to focus on. It goes back to what we were talking about in tennis and these elite athletes. We were able to quit the stuff that doesn't help us with the goals. Like great leaders teach people how to quit. Quit doing everything. Quit trying to please everyone. Quit trying to control everything. You need to do that within yourself. So then once you have this clarity, Now you can position yourself kind of like how you position yours, how we positioned ours, right? It's not just talking about, how cool we are. It's just like all our content is all dedicated to these amazing people that need help. And we're focused on a problem that they have. And we know that we can't solve everybody's problem, but if you have this problem and you're this kind of criteria, we might be able to help you. And then it's about offering something at the right time, at the right price, and at the true price, not of like racing to the bottom. Does it make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I absolutely see those same issues with the agency owners that we deal with. They definitely do things small. I think that comes from a lack of experience, or they feel like they have a lack of experience, and they haven't mastered, their thing yet. And that's what I see with a lot of the people that we work with. But let me ask you a different question.
You gotta realize that you can only do the best at this current moment. And every time you're just going to keep getting better and better. So that's why some content that I do, and I tell people, I will flip flop as I get more knowledge and I see things a little bit differently as I hopefully gain a little bit more wisdom or a little bit more gray hair. Like I'll flip flop because now I have more data in order to make a better decision.
Well, I mean, the marketplace changes too. So it's not like really flip-flopping. It's just evolving like anything. Let me ask you a question though. Do you think that there are a lot of people who are getting into the space for the wrong reasons?
Oh yeah, tons. Right. Like I had someone
motivating
contact me, go, I want to start an agent, or I want to start an agency because I want that freedom. I'm like, what? Like, go buy a franchise, like, or go do something else. Like I feel that you should only get into the agency world if you understand how to do a service better than anybody else. If you don't, you shouldn't. Like there's so many people teaching their courses of how to be an agency or how to start an agency and how to do a service. And then on the back end, you'll see so many people, hey, I sold a $10,000 retainer. Now what? And that's a huge problem, right? So then it hurts all the other agencies out there because it gives bad experiences. And it's not like they shouldn't, like they know how to sell and they know how to market, but they don't know how to deliver or do this, like, and deliver what they promised.
So
a big issue with that.
Can they flip it though? Those people who get in for the freedom, and they're really good at selling and they sell the $10,000 package and they're like, okay, what the hell do I do now? Can they turn it around?
They have to have passion for it though, right? I mean, think about like from an early age, like I love the Bewitched show, if you remember that, right? Like where Darren was always pitching and Larry, his boss, was taking credit. And like, I always was fascinated by like the old ad men, like the pitching and that kind of stuff. And always had a passion for marketing and growing a business. So, I mean, I can only judge it based on me. Okay. So like saying, if you got into the business for freedom and you don't know how to deliver, can you flip it around? Anything's possible. We put people on the moon, for Christ's sake. So, anything's possible. I can just say, like, if I got into this business and I didn't know how to deliver or do a service really well, and I was running an agency, I'd probably just shut it down and go do something else.
Interesting.
That's me.
Okay. So, differentiation right now is another big challenge that I see amongst agencies. And like you said, you're to the clients, you're just another SEO agency or blah, 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 blah. What is some advice that you have to agency owners out there to help them differentiate themselves from everybody else in this very, very crowded marketplace?
Pick a niche and pick a problem that you solve and do it better than anybody else and shout it from the mountaintop.
This is literally,
so like, for example,
go ahead. Sorry.
If I saw lawyers have a problem with getting reviews, I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. I'd be like, I can be the best agency in the world for you for getting the best reviews for your lawyer, so you come up in the search rankings. I'm not talking about SEO. I'm talking about a result. Like, do you want to build a pipeline that's predictable where you can pick and choose the cases that you want? So I'm leading with the solution to a problem that they have.
Gotcha. So picking a niche is absolutely one of the biggest challenges that I see a lot of agency owners having. And it doesn't have to be. But at what point should you decide, if you don't have a niche and you're trying to find yours, at what point do you decide, hey, the niche that I was trying to go in isn't working and I need to pivot?
I would say probably after about 2 years of trying.
2 years.
Trying a lot. And I'm not just
what does trying look like in your
and I'm not saying putting on a website and no one's coming to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like talking to at least 5 people in that niche a day. And if no one's buying, then you got to think about like, well, why are they not buying? Like, is my offer wrong? Am I positioned wrong? Am I talking to the wrong prospect? Is my approach wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love when people come to me after 3 months, I've tried everything. Can you help? Like, no way I can help you. If you tried everything in 3 months, I cannot help you. And then I'm joking with them, like, there's no way in the world you've tried everything. It's just you giving up.
Yep.
And then I asked them, why'd you pick this niche? Oh, because there was a lot of money or I took a course on it.
My buddy said this, or I saw a video.
Yeah. And I'm like, look, no one can tell you what niche you need to pick. Only you can. And it's through like a process of elimination. Okay.
Hold on for a second. That line that you just said, nobody can help you pick a niche. It's only you can. That's like very Yoda-esque. We need to have a t-shirt of that. That's a Swenkism right there.
There you go. Yeah. Right. So, but it's like a Vegas buffet. You have to try everything and figure out, oh, I don't like that green stuff that Eddie likes on, Vegas vacation, right? Like, give me more of the green or the red stuff. Right. So you have to start with process of elimination. And then you actually have to look at going, what do I have passion in? Just like Steve Jobs said, if you don't have passion and things get tough, you're going to quit.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you have to figure out, what do I have a lot of knowledge in? All right. And what is a problem that I can actually solve? And you match all these things up, eventually you can figure out. Now, this is not an overnight thing. This is not like a quick exercise. This is just like constantly, I don't know, trying to figure it out over time. Like, just try to put all the messages and signals and signs and link up the satellites, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
And then it will eventually hit you and be like clear as day. But a lot of times people are standing too close. I call it shooting frozen chickens at a canopy. Like my uncle, you're in Tijuana and also in San Diego. So, you remember, like, you have the Top Gun is there, right?
Mm-hmm,
I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Top Gun's one of my favorite movies. My uncle worked for a company called Grumman, where he would work on the F-14 Tomcat.
Grumman, the aerospace engineering company? Yeah, of course. They were huge,
so
actually, where I grew up.
Right? And so one of his jobs in the 70s was shooting chickens at the canopies, testing for bird strikes. And he kept breaking the canopies. And they're like, we can't make these things any stronger. They won't be able to see out of it. It'd be like a fishbowl.
Yeah.
And so they finally sent a letter out to NASA saying, hey, here's all our documentation, right? We can't figure it out. They said, unfreeze the chicken. They were shooting frozen chicken. Right? Meaning we're standing too close to it. Yeah. So sometimes you have to, kind of take a step back, and then it's clear as day of what you need to do, and then commit to it.
That's awesome. So, and that's kind of like what you help people with, right? Is you are NASA in many ways.
Well, don't compare me to NASA. I'm not putting anybody on the moon, but I try to help when I can.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome, man. Well, that's pretty much all the questions that I have for you. And you've dropped some serious knowledge bombs on everybody. I really, really appreciate it. This is one of the reasons why I love talking to you. Always learning something.
That's fun, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. And for everybody listening, just take action. Like, figure out, just try to gain some clarity of however you can, right? You have to have a goal with actions and a date. Without that, it's just a dream. And you dream all day long, but if you want to achieve it, we have to take massive action, or MAPS, right? Tony Robbins say, right? Like massive action plan, I think. And then you can accomplish whatever you want, but we don't take the time to gain that clarity, to figure out that plan in order to really take action. We're just reacting. And we say we're too busy, which means you're not charging enough,
Yep.
And that means you don't have clarity, and it's an endless cycle. So just gain some clarity, and, you know, listening to more podcasts like this or listening to ours, however, just go do it.
Awesome, man. I love that. Actually, one of my favorite Swankisms is if you're too busy, you're not charging enough.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one.
So true, right?
Yep, absolutely. Hey, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, Jason?
Yeah, just go to the website, jasonswenk.com. Swenk is spelled S-W-E-N-K. So just jasonswenk.com, and you'll link to our videos and our podcasts. You know, check out all the free content, you know, and get a lot of value from that. You know, we try to give away about 75% of our knowledge there. And then if you like that stuff, then you can pay us for the rest.
Nice. Okay. So who would be the perfect person to reach out to you?
You're an agency owner that you've been doing it for a little while, and you're just constantly hitting your head, you know, against the glass going, what do I need to do? Like, what do I need to do so I can build a predictable pipeline where I can pick and choose my clients? What do I need to do so I don't have to do everything within my agency, and I can actually have, you know, or have the right size team in order to do it? And you don't need a big agency. Or what do I need to do to eventually possibly have the opportunity to sell it one day?
Yeah.
You know, those are the people. And I have, and the other things too is don't be a douchebag. And constantly always want to be learning and have fun. You know, those are always my kind of requirements.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I really, really appreciate it. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you tune in next Thursday and every Thursday for the next episode of Operation Agency Freedom. Thank you so much and have a great day.